Good morning and welcome to the channel. So, what can you do to boost your FTP? Well, there's various ways of doing it. A lot of people go and do training camps in the earlier part of the year, in the spring, which we just sort of finished. And that extra volume, even at a lower pace, climbing mountains and things like that, really boost your FTP. I didn't manage to go away this year to do that, but I know a lot of people that did, and a lot of people benefited from that extra volume. But if you're not doing that, what can you do? Keep watching the video to find out how you can boost your FTP in a week. So one thing you are going to have to do is make sure you've got 3 or 4 days in a row where you can do 2, 3, 4 hours of riding a day. So it is a mini training camp. So day 1 is a long day, 3 or 4 or 5 hours if you can do it, of zone 2 easy riding, and then in that first hour or two try to do 2 20-minute blocks of something like high tempo or sweet spot. So sweet spot's around 90% of your threshold power, trying to hold that going hard but not too hard for 20 minutes. And heart rate wise, that's going to be just below threshold 2, certainly going to be above the pace where you can chat. You're going to be quite almost out of breath, but not absolutely hammering it. And then as you come back from the ride, you're about 10 or 20 minutes from home. The last 10 minutes, try to go as hard as you can for that last 10 minutes. And that's day 1 in the bag. If you're enjoying this content and finding it useful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you can. It'll really help the channel grow. And if you want to see more content like this, drop it in the comments, the sort of thing you'd like to see more of on the channel. So when day 2 starts, you're already fatigued from day 1, and it's working in that fatigue state that really creates that extra signalling for your body to improve. So day 2 is another 2 or 3 hour ride if you can do it. And in the first hour, try to do 3 by 7 minutes at FTP, or just over FTP if possible. So like 105%, something like that. In other words, working hard, but not too hard, so you blow up. So between those 7-minute efforts, you want to have a 5-minute cool down, taking it nice and easy, ready for another 7-minute effort. If you haven't got a power meter or heart rate monitor, you're just working hard, and probably at the end of that 7 minutes, you're feeling like you couldn't go on for too much longer. And then you carry on your ride, and in the last half an hour or so, try to do a half-hour effort at tempo. In other words, picking up that pace a bit above zone 2. Not really hard, but too hard to have a conversation. It's going to really tax your system and get that signalling going. So on to day 3. So on day 3, you're doing 4 by 2 minute efforts at the beginning and another 4 by 2 minute at the end. And those 2 minute efforts are VO2 efforts, sort of 110, 115% of FTP. At the end of the 2 minutes, you're probably going to be thinking you can't really do a lot more or go on for a lot longer. So 4 of those, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, to kickstart the system, and then a couple of hours easy zone 2, like all the riding this week. It's just a zone 2 effort if it's not a threshold or a VO2 effort. Go back to zone 2 then, and then at the end of the ride, in the last half an hour, try another 4 by 2. VO2 effort. See if you can either sustain the same sort of power or heart rate as you did in the first of those 4 efforts. And day 4, the final day of the training block, is another 3-hour ride or more if you can. And in the early part of the ride, try to do some more threshold efforts, those 7-minute hard efforts, not that you completely blow up, but you're working around threshold power or heart rate. So at the end of the 7 minutes, you're feeling pretty tired, but you've worked hard. 3 of those in the beginning with a 5-minute rest between. Then at the end of the ride, try to do a full gas 20 minutes to finish it off with a cool down at the end. And that's the end of a 4-day training block. And if you want to go through that again, feel free to rewind the video or look in the description below and I'll put the details down there. So by doing this 4-day block, you're really sending those signals to the body to adapt. And it's amazing what a concerted 2-day, 3-day, 4-day, really big effort, what that can do to the body. With an increase in volume and an increase in intensity in blocks, it can really build your fitness. And you should notice a push or a bounce in your FTP. And although the days are hard, and they get harder as you go on because you're getting fatigued, like I said in the beginning, it is that fatigue that really is signalling to the body for improvements to occur. That's why long 3, 4, 5, 6 hour rides are so good for aerobic development, because your body is working in a fatigue state. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful, and until next time, bye for now.